Talking. You've got my girl, Shalise, and we've got the wonderful Brendan from the founders of Digital Captures, and to my right,
Big temper, 6'2", dark chocolate delight, you done all the thing. Yeah.
to my left.
It's your boy Drew.
Alright, we're gonna get stuck in. So from our special guest, we wanna know about your work that you do and how you came to wanting to do your work that you do. So
Okay.
tell us about Digital Captures,
Yeah.
how it started, why you thought of it, X, Y, and Z.
Okay. So originally, like it started from when I was a kid, really.
Okay.
Everyone from our era would know about like the old school MTV videos and music videos and
Yeah.
yo raps and all that type of stuff. So I remember like back in the day watching one old school music video, Craig Mack, Biggie, Puffy, all them guys there. And that was the video that made me feel like, I wanted to do something in the media. Because it was just white, but it was black and white, and it was just an amazing video without much going on. And I thought, wow, that was it, just that. And then after that, I always had a camera in my hand as a kid. Like, I don't know if you remember the wind-up cameras.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Before digital was digital,
Yeah.
we had film, you know what I mean? So I had the little wind-up cameras, so even in school, I used to take pictures, and then once they turned into digital cameras, I used to take those to clubs before there was that cameraman and thing, and then people just used to always be in the shots with me and all that, all the time.
Okay.
And then my name was Cameraman B, because every club I went to, everyone used to see me and they knew, oh, that's Cameraman B. Right, and then after that, someone come up and said, oh, would you like to take pictures for me at my birthday party? And then it was kind of like, I was doing that, but I was doing it for free.
Okay.
And then it was kind of like, yo, I'm getting a bit of harassment here. And I'm working all the time, so I made it into a little bit of change. And then coming across that, because I just used to do photography. And then there was another guy that I met on the way, his name's G, Mr. G. Big him up. And then
Big him up all day, every day.
yeah, and then when we got kind of used to bump into each other, always the same events, it was kind of like, all right, you know what? Rather than people calling your number for video and my number for pictures, why don't we merge to do something as a collective? One number.
One enterprise.
Exactly. So that's how the digital capture started. And then it was kind of like just forming a team from there, really.
Okay.
And then we did a video and photography, and then we just put it into a group. So that's how the business kind of got started. That's the story, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I hear you.
I have a question. Sorry, from the audience. So you mentioned that you have a team. How do you find it? Do you find delegation delegating jobs quite easier than if it was just you by yourself? For example, if you was to do a wedding, right? Do you find that you're able to delegate roles to members of your team efficiently?
Right. So basically, my mission with the digital captures was a bit different to someone just knowing how to take pictures or just knowing how to film. So my idea was that I was going to develop a business, and the business was going to be a thing where, say for example, like Uber, you got an app and the nearest cab will come pick you up, right? That's the initial thought, right? So with digital captures, it wasn't supposed to be a team as such, it was supposed to be a business. And the business would be that if you've got the skills to take pictures or the skills to do videography, you could join the business, which would be an app eventually, and it'd be dotted all around the city or the UK or hopefully international. That was the idea. You join it, you get stars. So for example, as you get more stars for the work that you do,
You get bigger jobs.
yeah,
Get
you
bigger
get bigger
jobs.
jobs
Okay.
because people that join the app, they might see that your icon is a bit bigger because you've done good work. If your icon is a bit smaller, you might be cheaper, but the work might not be as good. So I'm saying, so that was the idea originally. So it wasn't so much about delegating and trusting. It was just about if you could do it, your points would speak for itself. But that would come eventually. In the process of building that, it was about getting a team, me not managing anyone. It was just, can you do it? What is your skill set? You be the captain of that. And whoever you want to bring with you, you're the captain of that. So if you're like a videographer and that's your job, you do that job. You're the captain. If you want to bring anyone on board,
That's up to you.
they could. Yeah, you're the
Yeah.
manager, and that's how it is. I find that now, because of the work standard I want as a business, I find myself more taking on all the jobs. Not because I want all the money, because there's a certain way that I want the work to come back where if it's not up to par, I'm not happy with it. And
So
because
basically, because it's using your name, you don't want.
that's right,
Yeah,
the
of
business
course,
name.
Of course, of
right.
course, of course.
And that's the difference. Where if it was someone using their own name, then it's not
It
my
wouldn't-
problem.
it wouldn't-
I can just
yeah.
give them a job, it's not back on me.
Yeah.
And that was the issue. So as that was going along, when you do hire people to do certain jobs, I'm getting the call. Oh, someone weren't taking enough pictures. Someone didn't film me do this and do that. So it kind
Now
of
you're
comes
thinking
like,
now you
yeah.
have to go and do the job
Right.
yourself now.
So what ends up happening, anybody that are getting bored now, it's almost like you need them to kind of shadow you to see how you move. But not everyone's got the same energy. Do you understand? So it's a bit of a difficulty to answer your question on how to kind of get it locked in, because not everyone's got the same energy.
Yeah.
You
Same,
see what I'm saying?
Not everyone got the same ability, so yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I've got a question, and it's a bit of a loading question, so bear with me, right?
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
So I understand if you're not taking enough pictures or you're not taking the right shots or whatever, right? Yeah. But my thing is, what does the right shot look like? Because the reason why I ask this question, I see it all the time. Girls will be going out and they might see a nice building or whatever,
Yeah.
and they'll take like 10 pictures of the same pose, but out of one of them they're gonna post one. To me, they all look the same. So I'm saying, as a picture man, videographer and whatnot, whatever, what is it you look at that separates a good person that takes pictures to a person who's just average? Because is it how he's taking the picture, or is it the shot that you're getting? Like, what is it you look for?
Basically, depending on the type of background, right? So, for example, like, let's just say if you wanted to represent Dawson High Street, right? If you're just going to stand in front of a wall, that's not going to show Dawson High Street, right? But guess what? If you stood in front of a train station, but it showed a few shops, there's a certain angle that represents this is a high road, this is a few shops down there, and a station. It speaks for itself within the shot. But with that, you can't have it against the light because it might cause shadow. So it's all about those things that you pick up to what creates the better shot or not. You know what I mean? Because anybody can pick up a camera and snap. It doesn't make you a videographer or
100%,
photographer.
100%.
You understand? You have to know those things, and depending on what the client wants. Yeah. So if the client wants it to be a thing where it's going to be like a scenery shot or city representative or club scene, you have to know ISO. Sorry, that's technical. Level of lighting.
Okay.
You have to know these things because, if, for example, if I'm in a club, they're gonna have strobe lights.
Yeah.
If you want to capture the strobe lights, you want that to show the club has got this type of stuff going on. You want to see the vibrancy. But there's a setting that I can put where the flash just takes away all the strobe lights. It just looks like we're here right now.
But
That's what I'm
is do you think, like, you see, if someone takes a wrong camera shot, ain't there programs out there we could fix that, or is it easier for you just to take the better shot?
There is programs out there to fix it, but it's not. It's almost like, you know, like how there's AI now. You can tell it's not.
Okay.
It's tampered with.
Okay.
And it's a lot of harder work, because if you think about it, as a cameraman, we could take maybe 100 shots in seconds. So if all them shots are wrong,
Now
to then
what,
fix
them, yeah,
that
It's
Yeah.
gonna take a lot
each,
of
and
time.
then you've got another 100 to go through, you know what I mean? So you just really rely on someone that could do the job. So if someone is not a great photographer, but they're good with videography, then I'll rather put them on that, leave
Okay.
them to it. If they're only a good photographer in the studio rather than outside, then they stay in that. So you kind of learn.
What's what?
What's
What's
good
what?
and what
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So I see that you stated that you wanted to have the app, right?
Yeah, originally.
But I think you've got like a QR code.
Yeah,
that
we
you've
had
got.
a touch and go card, business
Yes.
card. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a a different part of the business. That was more for like anybody that's got businesses. They was able to get in touch with us because that would come about during COVID, where everyone was supposed to be inside. So where you couldn't really be outside, it was kind of like where if you do come across people, you just tap their phone and their phone's all digital, it just goes straight in. So you got the number. You don't have to be like, take my number and dial it. Just tap the
there,
thing.
you take the QR code.
So that wasn't really a digital captures thing. That was more just a business thing that anyone could hire us for.
So
and we
how
just,
can
like,
people get in touch with you now if your app isn't where you want it to be? So how would they be able to get in touch with you now?
Well, the traditional way, man. If you either met us doing the work, we normally got our branding on our uniforms, our numbers on our uniforms, and then through that, it would have like all our platforms. So it'd have our Facebook platforms, our Instagram platforms, our YouTube. You know what I mean? And that's it. And our name is Fat. So once you see the logo, you know what time it is.
Okay.
So,
So have you
what, sorry, so what's happening with the app?
The app is still a way to go. The reason being is because it's building a team to then spread. Because
Across the place.
because what it is, it's like you want to build a team to then get people to know your name as a business, right? But what it is, for example, like let's just say if we're all skilled in that sense.
Yeah.
If you want to be Drew, then you might not represent digital captures because you want to be
You
Drew.
want to be due for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I wanna
therefore-
I'm built on me now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's quite hard to get everyone in. But I see it as like almost like British Gas. Like you still could do your own personal thing, but you want to work for a business.
Yeah.
But that's the hard
Kinda
thing.
Maybe try to like franchise it off type thing.
Yeah. So that it's really kind of like having people kind of understand your vision because we all would win. If we
You know
all,
what? Virgin Media does something like that. When I used to work for Virgin Media, the cable company, and basically Virgin Media is Virgin, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
because we used to use Virgin's name,
Yeah.
they used to oversee your standards.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you had to be of a certain standard to use their name.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe I don't know for you guys, I'm
Yeah.
having the same thing that you're trying to grasp. Like you
Yeah.
need to be at this standard to use our name. We want you at this standard because this is the brand that we want to
That's
push
right.
out.
Yeah.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
So,
right.
I get it.
Yeah. So that's the problem with the app at the moment. Not so the app can be made. The app is not the difficulty. It's just that, for example,
Having the numbers.
yeah, because let's just say if you're in Manchester right now, and the app is only showing 3-4 people in London. You know what I mean?
Doesn't
They might as
work
well
out
call
for you.
someone in Manchester. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
you know, it's having people knowing your idea. Where I can say, okay, you're from Manchester. Listen, let's have a meeting. Are you down? And then you can run digital capture up there.
Up there, yeah, 100%.
Run digital capture Leeds and Newcastle, wherever. They can run it. It's not about me saying I'm in charge. I want to run all over. I don't mind delegating the jobs. You could be manager because that's how anything grows.
100%.
You have to give
100%,
people the
yeah.
manager roles.
It seems like a really good,
definitely.
idea, and I hope that it works out for you, so that you can, build your brand further out. So hopefully Leeds, Newcastle, and so forth.
Everywhere,
You will be seeing
international.
digital captures.
Maybe
very soon.
maybe because I'm not in that sector too tough, but would this be the first type of app running something like this? Because I never heard of anything like this.
No.
Like I know if someone's doing a party, they might know a man or a friend knows someone or whatever. On the app thing, never heard something like that before. Never.
That's
So
why I went
this,
to Bus.
yeah,
That's
this
why I
this is like a brand new thing.
Yeah, 100%.
that I can see working still. Because if you don't know no one,
Yeah, exactly.
and your name is big and fat, and you're on different social medias and whatnot, even things like TikTok, I think is a very good tool to promote your business.
100%.
Not to like post certain like jobs that you're doing, or you could get an artist to shout you out or whatever. There's so much stuff you can do, and it can work. So I think that is a very good idea, and it's a unique idea.
Very unique idea,
Yes, it is.
100%.
Because I haven't seen nothing like that before. Never.
Yeah, that's the idea for sure. So hopefully one day.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. Hopefully one
get
day
there,
for
man.
sure. So the topic today, I'm sure you guys are aware of. It's a bit sensitive, so disclaimer. So there was a young girl speaking about her time in secondary school. Basically, she was being naughty, and the teacher locked her in the classroom and turned the light off. Now, we know this is a sensitive subject. Obviously, she put it out there for awareness, but we're going to get stuck into it. So, B, what do you think about that?
you know, because I found out that it wasn't like of recent times. It was like from like back in the day for what the young girl made out that it was, right? And to be real, like I think a lot of us was bad back then, but still, from what the girl was saying about the teacher locking off the lights
And locking the door as well. you
and
know?
locking the door, that's a problem
Yeah,
right there.
a real problem.
But there's a major issue, I think, is because she didn't speak up about it. Right? So
At the time.
yeah, so if you don't speak up about it, there can't be nothing done about it. So you're holding that thing with you for
Until you're
for
an
the-
adult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until you could get over it. So it's a problem. It's a problem. You know what I mean? Because you felt like you're by yourself. She most likely didn't chat to the appropriate people. She could have spoke to her friends, but if you're all keeping it to yourself, then it don't get dealt with by an adult, which it should have got dealt with. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Temps?
Yeah, it's a very weird why a teacher would do that.
Very weird.
Turning off the lights and locking the door. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you can't even say, oh, you thought she was gonna run away. Why turn off the light? But even so, like, even if you're gonna run away, like I was like pretty bad in school, and like it's a thing where to say, well, in this country, teacher can't actually put their hands on you. So if you walk out and whatever, you're doing the best that you can do for your ability. It's not like back in the day or the West Indies where they can put their hands on you. So I think the fact that you're turning off the lights and locking the door, you're going past your jurisdiction. You're doing too much.
100%.
And then when I was listening, because I saw the video further on, she said that she kicked the teacher
Yeah.
in his private parts and ran away, and she got excluded. So even that being said, what she done was extreme, but she's been put in an extreme position.
100%.
So the fact that she was excluded, expelled, whatever it is, it just shows that the school
Kind of felt her.
failed her, and they were upholding with his methods of detaining the student. Me
Yeah, but
personally,
he probably didn't even.
She didn't tell.
Yeah,
That
she
was
didn't
the
tell,
problem. That
and
was the
she
problem, she
and
didn't tell.
also he probably didn't even disclose that he even locked her in the classroom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the part.
I feel like it was premeditated because he already was aware that he was probably going to do that. He waited for all the students to leave the class, right? Waited for the whole place to be cleared, and then decided to lock her in the room and lock off the light. Now, had she not had her instincts come in to kick him in the private parts to then run out for nothing to really happen, I feel like he was going to do something to her that really he should never have.
but can I say something? You
Because
know,
what are you
like,
going to do? Why would you lock her in a classroom and lock
but
the light
you
off if he
know,
wasn't
from that
intending to
age,
do
because she
something?
said she was about 14.
She was 14, yeah.
If any of us are getting expelled from a school at that ages,
Mm-hmm.
our parents are going to know, or our guardians of some sort.
Yeah.
There's no way they're just going to be like, oh, okay, we got expelled, and they're not going to want to know why.
Why?
A teacher can't just say, your child kicked me,
I think
and they're not going to ask you why did they
I
kick
think
you.
the school knew, me personally.
Yeah, the school
Yeah.
might know, but you as a parent or the guardian.
No,
But
ask enough
the parent and
questions.
guardian, of course, they're going to know.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
Like,
but the
because
girl didn't tell us what
if
happened.
I've got a child and the child comes to me and I find out my child's been expelled for kicking someone, my first question is, why did you do it?
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Exactly.
you're trying to tell me that the daughter ain't comfortable enough to tell her guardian. Well, I don't believe that.
But this is what I'm saying. That's what she
Well, that's
said.
what
She did.
She
Yeah.
said that she didn't tell them. That's the
Yeah.
problem. So that's my thing, because I'm saying like this. Look, I'll be honest with you. I've heard what all you like to say, and I'm telling you like this as a parent. From you tell me the light was off,
Exactly.
it's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care what you did. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. At that point, sorry, it doesn't matter. Yeah. as a big man and have you in the room and turning off the light, there's no reason whatsoever for him to turn off that light.
100%.
And we'd all encourage our children,
Do you get that?
or anyone we care about, if anyone did that,
Something that happens,
bash them up.
You know it is.
100%.
You know,
I just don't believe that was spoken about to her parent. So I don't even believe they even asked any questions. I feel like it was just that she was expelled because she was out of control. I feel like the
maybe
whole
she was really
situation.
bad, innit? Maybe if she was just one of them bad kids, and they just thought, you know what, enough. This is what happens now. Enough. So maybe that was the situation.
He could have turned around
The
and
truth
said,
of the matter is, like Temp said, is if your child is a normal child that's going to school day to day all the time, not really having any issues, and then all of a sudden they're getting kicked out of school. You're as that child's parent, you're going to know why.
Yeah, 100%.
But if your child's getting kicked out every minute, it's a different thing. You're going to then think this is just one of them times.
if
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
let me think about this differently. Even though what the teacher, it sounded like the get woman was American,
American,
right?
that's
Yeah.
what I thought,
You said you grew up in America.
Yeah, I did,
What time do schools close in America? Similar to her, like 3, 4.
Yeah, I would say about 3. If I'm not mistaken, I think we used to start school early though. I remember I used to leave out real early, like 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, when you
But
say you
I think we
finished,
might have finished at 2 or something like that.
so even early,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
When I was in middle school.
okay,
like,
she hasn't really gone into it, but say extracurricular activities,
Yeah.
say 4:30 max. Yeah. The lights being off, would that actually make a difference as it was daylight?
It depends on if you
what
pull
part
the
of the
blinds
year.
down to make it darker.
It depends on what.
'Cause
No,
I'm-
but actually, it's like in school over here. I think even in this, when I was in America, the gym area, like them things. When you just turn the lights dark.
It's dark.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's no.
in the whole
They
area
haven't got
it's
any
dark.
lights. Any windows.
Because I'm thinking like when I went school,
Would
daytime.
Yeah.
What we finished 3:30, lights on or off is not really gonna make
Yeah,
a
but it
difference.
depends on what part of the year as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say daylight saving time.
Yeah, 'cause this
4
is winter,
o'clock.
right?
If
Make
it
it
was
get
winter,
dark
which is not like she said any specific
Yeah.
time. She just stated that person had turned off the
It
lights.
don't even matter, to be honest. It don't even matter because you got to think about it from what we understand, right? The girl said the guy let everybody out,
Waited
held
for it to
her
be
back,
clear, yeah.
he shut the door, turned off the
Turns the
light.
light.
So it doesn't even matter
And
whether
wouldn't even
it's
let her
still
out.
bright in the room or not. Just the fact that you did that is
Yeah.
a weird
But
thing.
it's
in
still-
itself.
And he wouldn't
doesn't
even
make
let
no
her
sense.
out. So obviously at that point,
Yeah.
For me,
she's
there's
trying to get
no
out, he's trying-
reason.
he's not
Yeah.
holding her from the door.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's in flight or fight mode.
100%.
So she's kicked him in the groin, real quick.
but
I think she was fully justified.
Yeah.
100%.
But I think there was one thing that was touched on is that she most likely was a bad youth.
Yeah.
Because I feel that the
Well, she
teacher,
said that she was. Yeah, she said that she was.
and this is why I feel sometimes teachers, if they know that a student is a certain type of way, they know they could get away with that
more,
risk.
get away with
100%.
Because
more,
they
yeah,
could just say
100%.
they didn't do nothing,
100%.
but that child has
And
built up
child's
such a
done-
bad reputation.
Yeah, they're not gonna believe the
Even
child.
though it's a bad way to think about it, I know me being a bad person at school, sometimes the teachers do stuff on purpose to make you
Yeah.
react a certain way
Yeah,
and
100%.
expel you.
Yeah.
What he done was wrong, but
Yeah.
how do we know that this guy didn't do the extreme just to get her kicked out of school?
100%.
True.
I feel like if she didn't even do the flight or fight mode at that specific time, it could have went on a different way because she already stated in there that she has already gone through grape, and she's already been around other people that's gone through grape. So she was stating that she only really wanted to put it out there as awareness because a lot of children at her age at that point don't speak to their parents about certain things that happen in school. And she wants to make awareness about it because she wants young people to speak out about how their teachers are treating them. You know, luckily my daughter is 14 and she's going through a situation at this point where certain teachers were targeting her for things that they really shouldn't be targeting her for. But luckily my daughter speaks to me. So I'm able to then be her advocate, go into the school in a meeting and say X, Y, and Z.
you have to
Whereas
speak up.
she didn't speak to her parents clearly at those points. And so they weren't able to be her advocate. So she's held that information in for so long that she felt, you know what? I've been trying to make this video. Each time I'm trying to make it, all platforms are
But can I
taking it
then
down.
jump in and say, also she might have held it because she's built up such a reputation. It's not even if she said this is what happened because
The
she
man
was
not
believe
what
it.
believed her.
Yeah. basically,
So, you know what I mean? Sometimes
Yeah.
again, if you go and do what you're supposed to do in school,
It doesn't
you could
always
be
work in your
relieved
favour,
if
yeah.
something unusual happens. If
Yeah.
you're always getting
If
kicked
you're
out,
always in some problem, yeah, it's not a joke.
so
Yeah,
it's, you know,
100%.
I remember years ago, my nan always used to tell me a story. My nan used to foster children, and she used to foster a boy. Just say his name was Gerald, and he always used to get into fights and whatnot, inside and outside of school. And I think one time he got into a fight outside of school on a weekend or something, and he had a black eye, so my nan wasn't really comfortable sending him to school with the black eye or whatever.
Yeah,
Still,
just in case she gets in trouble.
so she called up the school and said, "Oh, for example, Gerald won't be attending for this week. He's got an injury. He's got one black eye. He can't really see." You know, the doctor, the teacher told my nan, "I'm surprised he doesn't have two."
Oh, wow.
You understand?
Wow.
So when you have a sort of reputation, not only that the teachers don't believe you or accept it, they might not want to help you as well. And it's actually meant to be, they're meant to take the emotion out of it and just deal with the situation.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so much ways to look on it, but what he done was wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Her being 14, you could understand her being, would you call it, foolish or like naive, not speaking out about it. There could be many things to speak about it, to be honest. It's a mad one still, but her speaking about it now, what was the point of speaking about it now?
So that she could just make awareness for younger people that she's probably aware of that wouldn't speak about something that extreme. And that she wanted to kind of let young people know that whatever you're going through, not to say that you have to go through that extreme that she's gone through, but whatever could be happening in a classroom, that you are able to speak up and want to speak to someone so that they can sort that situation
If that
out.
was to happen in this day and age, and
That's
as a
investigated.
parent, like, I swear something like that could make the whole school be under review.
Well, yeah and no. It depends on if the head of the school doesn't take it further in the way, because there's steps that they're meant to
Well,
take.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like,
Yeah.
something like that happens,
Yeah.
it gets reported to the right people,
Yeah.
and it's kind of brushed under the carpet. And then people away from the school, higher authorities find out about it, and then it gets brought to them and whatnot. We
Yeah.
get the same thing at work in the same, like, I've been told for like the past 5 years, any woman who comes to me and says anything regarding SA, we have to deal with it. Because, for example, say a woman comes up to me and say, SA happened to me, or a guy's bothering me, or whatever the case may be. She might be drunk, intoxicated, whatever. She's let me know, so I want to deal with it. And she will says, "Oh, I just want to let you know, watch out for that guy, but I don't want to report it or nothing." And then the next day, she goes to the police. It has happened many, many times in my professional
She's
work.
probably spoken to someone
We
else.
get in
that's told
trouble.
her to.
We get in trouble. So we've been told now, as small as it is, the girl could be lying, like whether they're busy or not. We have to detain the woman, leave her one side, find out where it happened, look back on CCTV, because some of these girls are lying. Some of them are telling the truth, but you've done your due diligence. So you know that if anything does come back, yes, she did report it, we done this about it, whatever.
Yeah.
When you don't do that, in this situation or the situation that I'm talking about regarding work, it really looks bad. It don't look good.
Don't look good at all.
It don't look good.
No, it
So
doesn't. It's a shame that she didn't have, sorry to cut you, it's a shame that she didn't have the capacity or confidence to say something to someone at that time, so they could have dealt with that, and that teacher could have been reprimanded for his behaviour. Because regardless if she was a bad you or not, doesn't matter about what she did. It doesn't matter how difficult she was. The fact of the matter is, no child should have to go through what she went through on that
But
day.
again, that's the thing. That is the problem, though, because if she was difficult, it could be another part of her being difficult to why she's saying that. Because imagine if it didn't happen and she was just being difficult because that's what she did anyway in the past. So it's always a bit
You're
iffy.
saying,
Yeah, but
that
there's-
that could have been an excuse she used.
Yeah.
why she did what she
Because if that's how she rolls,
Yeah,
she's a
maybe she
difficult
was bad,
person,
yeah.
and she's always chatting that type of stuff anyway. It's almost like crying wolf.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
yeah,
it's
I
happening in
see
real
that.
life.
Yeah.
You
They're not
don't
even
know.
gonna believe
But
it.
even right now, like, who knows that if she's actually telling the truth? No one actually knows.
Well,
We know that people do clickbait. We're aware of that. That people, she's on the internet at the end of the day, right? She's a grown woman now. She's not 14 coming to speak. Obviously, she's saying that she wants to leave awareness and stuff like that. Cool, I appreciate that. But at the same time, it's more so about.
I don't think she went into enough detail.
She didn't.
I don't know if you guys, this is slightly off, but I don't know if you lot seen that runner in America. She was running and she hit the girl
Yeah.
on the head. When
And she was
doing
crying
that.
afterwards. Yeah.
Right,
see
so
that.
there's this.
The baton, yeah.
There's like 4x4 relay.
Wasn't that a mistake? Or was it
It was a
serious?
Well, she
mistake,
said that
right.
it was a mistake,
But-
but in the CCTV that I see, that
It looked like she
The
got
replay.
she
From
to
a certain
me she
angle.
looked like she did it on purpose.
On the
So
same
basically,
team.
yeah. So basically,
Yeah,
from the
but
front,
it's the same team.
from the front where the girl's running around the corner, it looks like the girl behind when she getting overtaken. If you're the girl, it looks like she went like that. But from the other view, what happened was while the girl's running, it got caught up in the girl's sleeve. Yeah. So by the time she let go, she's running with the momentum. It hit her in the head.
Well, you know
Yeah, but
what?
she did it twice though, not once.
No, she only got hit once.
Well, you know
Now,
what?
if you look back at it again, if you find,
I
you'll
haven't
see
I
that
haven't
it's
seen
twice,
it.
Twice that she hit her.
I haven't seen that. However, being the sports enthusiast that I am,
Yes, look at this
you understand?
connoisseur bringing out the big words from the dictionary.
Because like when I was younger, I was really into sports and even athletics. I do watch it and whatnot. Still, I know that when you're doing a relay and a baton's involved, right? Yeah. When you see someone like 20 meters behind you, you start to get to run to carry on. Don't lose momentum, and your arm is meant to be on the side of you,
so that you can pass it on.
on like
meant
underneath
to
your
kind of-
waist. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
Like how to explain it? Like on,
Like
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Still, so the fact that you're telling me that the battle was up here, that's on purpose.
No, so you'd have to see it. So basically, they're already running,
Yeah.
and they're around the corner. The girl, when she's running, because the other girls come around the outside of her to overtake, so they're on the bend.
Okay.
Yeah. So when she's running, and you're running up like that, innit, because you're doing your 100-meter sprint part. If you're running like that and it gets caught, you've still got the momentum. You can't just stop your arm. Do you understand? So by the time it's come
I
back,
think I would have to see.
yeah, you'd have to watch it.
Well,
'Cause
how
when
I
I saw
saw
it
it-
from the other angle,
How I saw it from the angle that I saw it, because I saw it from both sides, and she's hit. She's done this twice. Now I've done relay before, so I know that what Temp is saying. You're meant to pass it this way for you to catch it and continue running. Yeah. And how I see her, she was behind at that point. The person that's gone and lunged at the other person. As she's running like this. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to say that it was caught because I kind of watched it over and over again to see if it was caught. Didn't really see it get caught because what she was saying is that it was doing this out of her hand, like slipping out, and she was trying to catch it. But if something's slipping out of your hand and you're going to catch it, your natural thing is that you're going to do this. But you didn't do that. You've struck like this with your hand. Do you get what I'm saying to you? But in a relay race, you're not really going to strike your hand like that.
But you gotta remember this: if she's running, now I'm gonna put the verticals now. Yeah, she's running like this. You're saying, and somebody's slipping out your hand. You are gonna kind of jerk forward to grab.
yeah, but this is the
but she
contradiction.
hit her on the head,
It
though,
can't.
that's what I'm
Nothing's
trying to
gonna slip out your hand if you're running.
Well, that's
You're
what she
holding it.
said, that's what she
I'm
said.
saying. So it had to have got caught.
Got
Because
caught in what? No one
that's
had
what I'm
sleeves.
saying. But no, the girl that's running past her, they're all wearing their thing.
No,
innit?
they had things like this on.
Exactly, and it got caught up in the back. So as she's running and she's got the strap.
No, when you see it, there's
See it,
nothing
see it.
caught.
Look,
There's
we'll have to
nothing
watch it.
caught.
We're gonna
because
have to
there's no
literally-
reason to
Yeah,
just
so
drop her
literally
back.
just
struck her
Yeah.
twice
If you're
in the head.
running, if you're doing a 100-meter sprint,
Yeah.
you've got no
100%.
reason to relax your hands.
100%.
Everything
Yeah.
is tense, yo.
But sometimes like in changeover, I have seen the baton.
Yeah,
drop.
but the changeover has already been done. You don't even see the changeover.
Okay.
They're running around the bend at this point. They're running full
Is this
square.
like 200 to 300?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
the handover.
full
You don't even
sprint,
see
yeah.
the handover. They're already
Full
running.
sprint now,
But the
yeah.
girls come from behind on the bend, yeah? So she's running. They're both like that, yeah? So if, for example, from the front, it looks like the girl went like that. But from the back angle that I saw, it could have been where she got caught. So that catch is because you're running and it stops you. Because that's the only
For
reason why
me,
you want to catch it.
If you're striking and your hand's up now, yeah, 'cause remember you're only meant to be doing this. You're not really meant to have your hands up like that anyway. So as she's sprinting like this, she's lunged at the girl like that. Boom, boom in her head. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So then when everybody's seeing it back now, she's crying. Right, I'm so sorry, I didn't do it on purpose, this, that and the other. But the way how I've seen it is I've looked at it over and over again to see maybe it could have been a mistake, maybe she was telling the truth. But to be honest with you, it looks like she did it on purpose.
Yeah,
And
then have to
because
get
now
back
it's
to
come
us
to a
in that.
situation where it's on camera and it's now gone on
it's
socials,
guys-
she's now having to do the crying and I'm sorry
So
kind of thing.
like in regards of that though, I'm assuming it was for like in their flex in the country for a country or something, right?
I think it's like their school. You know, America does it.
Oh, it
to
was
the
a
whole-
school. It wasn't even that high up.
No,
No,
it
I
wasn't.
think
But
it
it
was
was.
for
It was
school.
comment. You know, America they commentate like someone.
Okay.
They do it in their own sports game.
Yeah,
Someone's
yeah.
commentating, but it was enough to get on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You know
On the
what? You know
local
what I
news.
find in America? They
like a
put
clip.
any little thing on the news. You know?
Yeah.
And one thing I will say though, compared to, I don't know if their colleges are uni or whatever the case may be, but
Well, they've got uni and college. But
yeah, but like when you see like certain athletes of today, like wrestlers or footballers or even on TV shows or whatnot still, and you hear them talking about college football, college this, college that, and
It's a
like the
gateway, it's a gateway, though.
stadiums,
It's a
like
gateway, it's a gateway. You gotta
it's
understand.
different
You gotta
out there
understand that.
because when I went college and I done the sports thing, it wasn't that big. It wasn't playing in them big
You
stadiums.
understand this,
It's different.
In college football and college basketball is the gateway into the NFL and into the NBA.
Yeah.
It's the actual gateway.
They've got,
They
like,
that's-
scholarships.
Like it's not a joke.
no,
No, but I'm just saying.
No, when I say that, I mean like so the levels, the way they take it serious. They take it.
So that's why they in these
so
big
that's why they
arenas
need
and
these big
whatnot.
arenas and
Basically,
all that.
yeah.
Yeah, they take it serious.
because they get scholarships and stuff like that.
My nephew got a scholarship. I can't remember who he was
What,
playing
for American football?
American basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah, he got a scholarship from here to go do that over there. You get me? But again, the one thing with America though, like if your grades ain't good, you can't play. You
No,
get me? So you
this is
cannot
it,
play.
and that's
You
a
get
big
me?
thing in that
And they'll
country.
even stop you from playing to get your grades back up.
Yep.
Okay, so they're very like they don't care about your talent.
No.
Well,
But
yeah,
you
they
gotta
do.
understand this, you gotta
They
understand
do.
this, you gotta
They
understand
do.
this. There's levels to it, innit? Because
Yeah.
like everything, you find if there's a special guy, he might get a little blind with certain things where he might, his grades ain't up to par, but because he's doing so well, that they will kind of. But
They have to do
Well,
summer school.
majority-
then.
but
That's
yeah,
it.
they have to
He has
go
to do
summer
summer
school.
school.
So when you say like grades up to par,
Yeah.
like what is a minimum required A to C?
so their thing is I forgot how it goes now. It's points or something.
Always
So they
points.
get, they got points.
Yeah,
They
even
got a
our
point
thing is not
system.
even A to C no
No
more.
more.
They
It's
switched
they
it
switched
up.
up to
I
numbers
don't
now. I
even
think
know
our
what
team. I think they got from 1 to 9 now in England. 1 to 9. That's
1 to 9 now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even
One
the
being the
letters are
lowest,
opposite way
then-
around,
I
it's
think
weird.
1 is the highest. Is that more correct? 1 is the highest or 9
I
is
think
the
I
highest?
think it's
No,
number
one,
one
yeah.
is thing, but then the F now
Yeah.
is higher.
It's
weird, I don't know,
mad.
it's-
I don't understand it.
Yeah. So
In
when
America,
my
they
daughter
do-
comes back
like
and says
SAT,
F,
you heard them talk about SAT scores.
Yeah.
So that's like that's like kind of like how they
GCSEs.
Yeah, that's how they grade their thing. Innit?
That's their
So,
GCSEs.
depending if you got like I don't know, like let's say like a 1300 or 14. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, I've seen
They've
couple
got, like,
You know what I'm talking
things,
about?
yeah.
You see it on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how they kind of grade it. So you have to be at a certain level to be playing on these teams. And you know what I'm saying? But again, like I'm saying, they take it seriously.
And if they don't do
Again,
their grades, then they have to do it in summer school. They
Yeah.
have to make it up in summer school.
yeah.
So they're not playing out or going out with their friends. They have
So
to go
so
back to
in
school.
regards, like, okay, so say your grades are good, you get a scholarship and whatever,
And you're
you
keeping
make
them
it
up.
to the MBA and
Yeah,
whatnot. Still,
yeah.
in the MBA, apart from playing ball, is your grades actually doing? Is there anything
no,
else?
but you got to remember this. Like, so the truth of the matter is this, isn't it? It's the same as over here when with the Premier League. Like you're gonna get loads of kids going for the Premier League,
Yeah.
doing that. Now, in America, because they take it so serious.
Yeah.
If you just focused on that, a lot of you ain't getting in.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
You're sitting
So
on the
your
sidelines.
grades are what you have to fall back on, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So for them, that's what it is. The ones that get in, they get in. They're gonna clear. You get what I'm saying to you? But the ones that don't get in, they're gonna be real close.
Because
They don't get in.
over here, like okay, even
But sometimes they don't even make the main team.
That's
You
what I'm
see
saying.
it all
Yeah,
America,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So they don't
yeah,
even
yeah,
make the main
yeah,
team.
yeah.
So they just be sitting on the sidelines, watching the main people play. Yeah?
Hoping for someone
They've got
to
like
break their
A
leg.
team and B team. We've got A, B, and we've got A and B over here as well. Yeah. So it to a certain degree on certain sports, but yeah, it's similar.
Yeah, America's.
But they take their
they
sports
take
very
their sports
seriously.
serious.
would you say that's a reason why along with China, they're normally in athletics like top 3.
Yeah, I would say
Basically.
100%.
Because I'm
100%.
sure
They
in
start from
England,
young.
I'm sure in England, like maybe at school or college level, but like if you bust from what 16, 17 and you've made it, as soon as you finish school you do what you, because I'm sure I don't know background, but Rooney, he came onto the
remember,
scene
yeah,
16,
young, yeah, 100%.
Jack Wilshere 16. I'm not sure that they were the
This is-
brightest or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
But like
England's different.
England's just
They don't-
different
they don't-
still.
You, but then again, you would say that, but you got to understand this. In America, like you're saying, it's in college, isn't it? Over here, it's not. You if you're going to do football, it's outside, it's extracurricular. You get what I'm
But
saying?
also as well, you know, like with the American system, because they stay at school longer till
Yeah,
18, right?
yeah.
So you know, like
Sometimes 21 if you get left back.
yeah. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
example,
it's not a
like
joke, brother.
you see, like we have a sixth form in school, yeah. They have that standard, but it's not sixth form; it's just their school, right?
So is that
we-
high school?
So
they-
yeah,
so
that's
they
high school, high
basically,
school,
they basically
yeah,
in
but
high
it's
school to 18,
Yeah.
and then they go into college from 18 to 21.
Yeah, and then you'll be uni.
And then they
if
go
they
in-
choose to.
Well, yeah. And then from 21 it will go into like 25, and that's when they can either go into work or they will take their
Right, but the
apprenticeship
difference
or
is
whatever.
the difference why it's better. I feel it's better is because I don't know about you guys, but when I was out of school at 16, I was like, wow,
What do you
school's
do now?
done.
Yeah. What do you do now?
And then you're in college and you ain't
And you
even
don't
really
have to go.
developed yet.
And you don't have to.
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
nothing
And
making
because
you
you don't have to
working,
go.
though.
Because you don't have to go.
I was working
You
when I was
don't
at
go.
college.
Do you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You see, like why I think America's better because I feel like it keeps you younger for longer.
While your mind is
You get it?
immature.
While you until you actually
Exactly.
become mature. Because you remember this. Over there, it's 21.
Yeah.
Everything's 21.
That's right.
You get me? Like, you want to drink 21. It's not like over here, 16 smoking.
Exactly.
18
But
drinking.
ain't you can't. I'm sure you can't leave school at 16 no more.
Yeah,
yeah,
16.
yeah.
They're trying to make it 18. They're trying to make
Yeah, they
it.
were trying to. I think the
Cause-
academies.
cause-
I think when they brought the academies,
Yeah.
in, it was supposed
Academies
to
now,
change.
Trying to
academies
change
is
it.
now
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
Academies is now 19.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's now 19 that they.
Because I know I left at 16, but I know my nephew, when he left,
Yeah.
I think he dropped out, but they were writing my sister saying he has to go into some sort of education, whether that be sixth form or college, or she could still get in trouble. So yeah, you still leave your secondary school at 16, but you have to enroll in some sort of something, and you have to have like a good at least 75% like attendance. You have to be seen doing something, or the authorities are onto you.
100%.
And I know, like when I was going to school, when I finished, there wasn't. I actually wanted to go college, but I don't think they were
You didn't have to,
onto.
you didn't have to.
Yeah, you could do what you want.
There's nothing still making you have to go
No,
college.
because I'm gonna say that my son's what 18 now.
Yeah.
I didn't get nothing. Like he went, but
Yeah.
He's the only thing we get now is that the college will call us and say, look, he's timekeepers, but nothing from an authority.
Yeah, that's mad.
Nothing from an authority.
Like all these calls, like when I'm hearing that they will call my sister about her son or daughter. Oh yeah, he hasn't attended,
Yeah,
or
we get
he's
that- we get that
like,
from college.
wait. I remember back in my
In my
day.
college day, they weren't doing
When
that.
my
In my
fam,
college
like
Not
when
really
I was
doing
going
it.
to school and college, like it was a letter thing,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
and I will intercept that letter, blood. Yeah,
It
'cause-
was different then, though. You could do
I
that.
know, like my nan weren't playing.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say is for those out there that want to start a business, want to probably have visions like what you had, maybe we're looking at you thinking, yeah, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, what would be your advice to them to?
Is that like with media or just with any business?
with both, with everything.
Yeah. Everything that you've accomplished so
Everything you've
far,
accomplished, yeah.
like
What would your advise?
what your advice be
What
for a
would you-
young
would you say to
person?
them,
Yeah.
like, maybe keep open-minded. Don't keep yourself in one box. Or, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I would say like there's a lot of people, especially in this day and age, that especially with the social media and everything is just out there now. Right? More now than even in my time. If you do something and it's not so good, you're gonna have people that easily could be behind their keys and say this is rubbish.
Yeah.
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 But the positive that I would say, especially if you're doing media, is if there's a lot of people able to say this is rubbish, that means there's a lot of people able to see your work. Keep going, because if you're getting to a lot of people to say it's rubbish, then keep going, because that means it's really out there. Yeah, and it's a criticism, but bad criticism is when you learn to get better at something. If everyone's always saying you're just good, you could be rubbish, and then you never improve.
Yeah.
You understand? What I always say is that whatever target or thing you want to do, you have to kind of almost be selfish. People might advise you or say to you, nah man, I don't think that's the lick, nah, that don't look good, or don't try and do that, that's not going to make no money, yeah? The people that are most successful are the ones that didn't do things the way everyone else did it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did something their way, right? So whether it didn't work over there, it didn't work over there, if you've got an idea, keep going, because Elon Musk and man, Virgin, all these people didn't just,
They had their ideas.
they had to do it for years. Amazon, man, like they
Yeah.
started somewhere,
Apple.
and it took years and years and years for it to get somewhere, and then everyone wants to jump on afterwards.
Yeah, because
So-
it's somewhere established.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I would
100%.
say, if you've got an idea, stick to it. Just stick to it. Whoever wants to, F with you, they will F with you. If they don't sweat it. Let them go about their business, and you continue doing what you do
Talk up
and believe in it.
things.
Yeah, man, and that's it. And no bad vibes, and that's how I keep it. Yeah, that's my advice.
Thank you, Mr. Brendan.
You're welcome.
Digital
You're welcome.
Captures.
Digital Captures,
Founder
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that, CEO.
Yeah.
Big up
On all
yourself
platforms as
every
well. Digital
day.
Captures.
Yes.
Yeah. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere.
Okay then. So thank you for your thank you for your time. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Big up yourself.
Back.
To my right.
Big tempo.
And again,
6'2".
Mr.
Dark chocolate
B.
delight, you get me?
Oh, sorry, the
let me
top.
finish.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You understand? You
It's
know
not
how
a
the
whole
thing
long
set.
title. Apologies.
You understand? You lot know the thing.
And
Yes, Mr. B, Digital Captures GB. Yeah.
your girl Shalice, and to my left. And we out.